But meanwhile, Huskies athletic director Pat Chun has not set minimum expectations for either of his third-year head coaches, including Jedd Fisch and men's basketball coach Danny Sprinkle, saying only that he wants to continue seeing progress from both programs. Here's more from our one-on-one interview with Chun in our studios last night. I've always been curious, knowing the current landscape and challenges of college athletics, if you had to do it all over again, would you still have pursued this career, and why or why not?
I push back. I always tell people it was watching both our men's and women's soccer teams this year.
Yeah.
Like to just be on the, just to be, I mean, really, I have no role in them other than, you watch these extraordinary young people and these extraordinary coaches just work to do something really special. But you have on our women's side where Coach Van Dyke, what I don't, hopefully, we don't ever see a team that has to go through anything like that again. But to watch something so heartbreaking and so inspiring at the same time was just such an important life lesson for all of us to watch and be a part of, and watch these young women like celebrate their teammate and watch their teammate fight to go to every practice, even though she was given a terminal diagnosis with her cancer, and just how they all valued life and and how they just, I mean, this was a team picked to finish, I think, 8th or 9th in the Big Ten. Then they win the Big Ten regular season and win the tournament, and then make it to the Elite Eight. And then you got our men's soccer team who had to really blaze their own trail. They had to go win 6 games essentially on the road, including the national championship game. But you also have a head coach who clearly made a decision, when he took this job, I think 15 years ago, that the pathway for Washington soccer to be the best program in this country was going to be through Washingtonians. And just to see like the pride in which they play with, and and then just how committed they were to each other. So that's, for me at least, fuel for the soul.
Yeah.
And then with all the other stuff, I think we're fortunate, or I'm fortunate at UW, that I'm just surrounded by so many teammates in that athletic department that are so committed to this endeavor, so committed to our young people, and want to produce something really special with our athletic department. But those are the fun parts, dealing with trying to get dealing with this portal, and trying to work with our coaches to try to figure out where we're going to find more resources and all this stuff. I'm not gonna kid you or act like that's fun, but you got to take the good with the bad. But our good happens to be power of the human spirit type of good, which is really really inspiring stuff.
Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. Finally, Pat has generously decided to give us the exclusive tonight and announce the new sponsor for Husky Stadium. Right? I mean, Is
it Fox 13? Is that who it is?
I wish it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Is that coming soon?
We've had some really good conversations with it. I think we're appreciative of the partnership we've had with Alaska, and we'll continue to have Alaska now exclusively with the arena. And I think that kind of is instructive on what we're looking for with our next partner. The fact that we've been a decade with Alaska, and they found the value, and the relationships were so strong that they wanted to continue this for another decade. And with Alaska, it's bigger than athletics. They sponsor so many other things on our campus, and are really focused on how they make the Pacific Northwest more than just their hub for their airlines. It's a place they want to impact, especially on our campus through higher education. On the stadium piece, we've had some really good dialogue with some companies, but we're trying to find the right partner. We recognize that the world's changed since we did this 10 years ago in the stadium. We're now in the Big Ten, which the platform is very different. We're in a national conference that's on Fox, CBS, and NBC. Also, I think how our football programs perform over the last decade. I think there's only a dozen teams that have gone to multiple playoffs, and I think what Jedd's doing, Coach Fisch has done, is really positioning us in to have another exceptional run here with our football program, with the way he's been recruiting. And you have the greatest setting in college football. So the package is very unique in what we have, and I think we're excited about the dialogue we've had. And it's something that we need to get to a finish line, but doing it right is a priority with the right partner, as opposed to doing it fast is really what we're focused on.
Well, we look forward to hearing about that.
Yeah.
Pat Chun, athletic director of the University of Washington, thanks so much for joining us, and congratulations on 2 years.
Thank you. Go Dogs.